What is up, fighters? We haven't done one of these underrated videos for about a month, and I've got 5 new picks that aren't common but are super strong. I'm thinking of doing these every 2 weeks, and if you want me to, then let me know with a comment or like this video. Now, this video was put together with help from the guys at Pro Guides. You can check them out down below, but let's fly into our jungler this patch. So Nocturne has been decent for a while actually. Everyone kind of associates him with this devourer monster, right? But part of the reason he's here is because he's pretty versatile. He does do a ton of damage. Let's get that out of the way at the start. He does a lot of sustained damage with auto attacks, but he has high burst as well with his ultimate and passive. The good thing as Nocturne is you can react to the game. Like, devourer is more damage, sure, but some games when your lanes are losing, that's not the best idea, and he can fall back into warrior for an earlier power spike. The best thing about this guy, in my opinion, is how easy it is to have an impact in the game. You can literally just run to bot lane every time your ultimate is up and fly in from Fog of War. There's nothing they can do to stop you, and it's like, if they push, they're going to die. You can counter gank really well and fly in to save the day. You're amazing 1v1 because of your fear and spell shield, which can like absorb at least sync you and completely turn that fight around. You build pretty tanky, but you still do loads of damage. You're like a Shyvana or Master Yi, who are also insanely strong right now. Like last video, we're going to do a game plan, so you have some stuff to focus on when you go and try him out. You should try to gank early. You have good damage and a fear, which keeps them in place, but you want level 6 as soon as possible. Literally every time your ultimate is up, go to a lane and use it. I guarantee you that you'll have a really high impact in the game if you do that. Mid game, you either want to pick people when they're alone on the sides or to set up fights by engaging when they split off. For the AD carry, I'm going to go with Ashe. She has quite a high win rate at the moment, but barely anybody is playing her. There are like 3 reasons that I think she's actually a good pick right now. First thing is her range. It makes trading in lane really easy. Like, you volley first, then auto, and do that automatic crit for crazy damage. Plus they're slowed, and how do you get away from that? There's this common misconception that Ashe is rubbish in lane and doesn't do anything, but that isn't true at all. Her auto trading is amazing. Second thing, her ultimate. This is the kind of obvious part, right? But a lot of her wins aren't actually from her doing damage on stomping lane or whatever. They're from catching people out with her ultimate. The one good arrow mid game can net you Baron, towers, and people do not respect this. They stand way too close and are easy to catch. The third thing is actually her interaction with Runan's Hurricane. Basically, while your Q is active, it fires on the Runan's extra bolts as well as your main auto. That is so much damage. Apart from just doing a ton of damage in fights with that, you're also slowing everyone, and utility wise, I think that actually has a big effect. The kiting is nice for dealing with like assassins and stuff, but really an arrow to the face is a good way at stopping them killing you too. Game plan, we should be trading a lot in the lane phase and abusing our range plus guaranteed crit. Remember to volley first and then auto for the extra damage, which is soon gonna add up. We turn it up a gear at level 6 and can catch people constantly with our ultimate. That should be our aim mid game really. Just pick good fights and arrow as much as we can. Don't sit back, just make sure you're proactive with it. Let's go to the mid lane next, and we're looking at Anivia. I've actually had her on a few of my top 5 videos before, but recently people have just stopped playing her, so consider this your nudge to start again. Anivia's base damage is very high. It's kind of long cooldown, but she can almost one-shot people, and nobody really is going to expect that. She is immobile and slow, which are both annoying, but the damage I think more than makes up for this. Plus, when you do get caught, you have an egg to help you too. In lane, you'll do alright. You can kill if you land your stun, but team fights are where you really turn it up a notch. You can zone, stun, do AoE damage, and burst a single target. There are 2 interesting things that I want to go over stat wise when I was doing research for this video. First thing is she is way less effective in bronze, but decent in silver and really good in gold and above, which kind of makes sense. Like, you need some patience and practice to do well on her. The other thing is Tear and Archangel Staff is basically core for most players, but actually she has a much higher win rate when getting a Morello or Athene second instead of a Tear at all. The Tear is more damage later into the game when it stacks up, but this meta is much faster and Morello or Athenes provide damage earlier. Game plan wise, we want to farm early, get our Rod of Ages as soon as possible, and then start stacking that up. At level 6 we can go really aggressive. Like, before we can do stuff, but our stun is clunky, it's not that easy to hit, and if we miss it we have no way to proc the bonus damage on our E, so they can just run at us. With our ultimate, trading becomes so easy, and it's a ton of damage. It's really hard to deal with. In team fights, we're going to stay at the back and pump out damage constantly. Now this is my favorite support to lane with. Nami is just amazing. I might be a little bit biased, but she has everything really. She's kind of like Thresh, like a low health mage version that has a heal. Okay, that sounded better in my head, but like, I mean, she's just so versatile. Thresh has everything you kind of want, right? He can go aggressive or peel and do well at both. Nami is the same, like she can heal or harass, she can speed people up with the buff or slow them down, even bubble or ultimate to engage or peel. She's really good at lower elo, especially because she can keep the worst AD carry alive in lane and let them farm. Like, you have to really suck to die next to a good Nami player. I say this all the time, but I think you have to play a carry support really to have an impact. You don't want to rely on your AD carry too much. Nami is the perfect balance between defensive and carry. She can do both so well, and that's why she's so underrated. The game plan with Nami is going to change a lot, but there are two kind of main versions, I guess. In a passive lane, you sit back, you heal your AD carry and bubble to make sure they don't die. In a more aggro lane, you can use that heal to harass them instead, and when they come to CS, just put that bubble where they're going to stand. You'll be surprised at how many people will take that CS and get hit by it. In team fights, you just want to stay at the back, peel for your AD carry and mid laner, heal them, bubble ultimate, and you're good to go. Rounding out this list is someone that's been mentioned a few times on my channel now. If you've watched the Korean solo queue video, Sion is very strong right now because he just doesn't die. Well, he does, but then he comes back and whacks you some more. But now, seriously, he just takes so long that his team will have time to kill you. His base damage is good, his ultimate is great at roaming, and he's actually like a full-on tank you can't ignore. This is the uncommon thing, right? Loads of champions can build full tank, but then you'll just ignore them because they can't kill you, they built no damage. Sion is different. He builds full defense and is still a threat. Like, you have to actually kill him. People actually build some offense at lower ranks. I was having a look and people build Sterix. They even build a Titanic Hydra, and it makes them even more of a threat. You probably don't want to do that if you're higher up, but I guess you can get away with it. In lane, you'll do pretty well. You can surprise people and kill them, but I think it's more your ultimate that really makes a difference. The game plan here, and what most Suns do when I've watched some replays, is use that ult all the time. They surprise people in lane and charge at them to set up a gank. They base and then run to a different lane with it and just appear charging. It's really hard to get away from him when he's just running at you like that. And if you are proactive with it, then you can have a really big impact. When teamfights roll around, you have good crowd control, you have some engage, you have damage, and you're just a huge meat shield that the enemy team cannot get through. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you again to Pro Guides. You can check out their website and YouTube down below or on screen right now. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, share, but for now, let's go to the robots.